Love is a paradox, a force that can grow from the darkest of beginnings. Welcome to Stories of Myth, where we unravel the curious tale of Hades and Persephone, a love story born from an abduction. In Greek mythology, their union begins with a shadowy act, a moment that seems to defy the very nature of love. How can affection bloom from captivity? How can a goddess of spring find her heart in the underworld? What if that darkness gave way to a bond that defied the gods? Join us as we explore how the Lord of the Underworld and the Goddess of Spring turned captivity into a love that changed them both forever. A tale of balance, choice, and an eternal legacy. In the golden fields of the mortal world, Persephone danced among wildflowers, her laughter a melody that brought spring to life. She was the daughter of Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, a radiant figure in a golden robe who blessed the earth with abundance, her hands coaxing wheat from the soil, her smile a promise of eternal growth. Persephone spent her days weaving flower crowns, her spirit as free as the breeze, her mother's love a constant warmth that wrapped her in light. The mortals revered her as a symbol of renewal, leaving offerings of honey and grain at her altars, their prayers a song of gratitude for the seasons she inspired. But beneath the earth, in a realm untouched by sunlight, a lonely god watched her, his heart stirring with a longing he could not name. Hades, the lord of the underworld, sat on his obsidian throne, his realm a cavern of eternal silence. He ruled over the dead, his days filled with the whispers of shades, their voices a cold echo of lives long past. The underworld was a place of shadow and sorrow, its rivers of fire casting an eerie glow, its fields of asphodel stretching endlessly into the dark. Hades had never known the warmth of companionship, his heart a void no soul could fill, his crown of shadows a heavy burden. He had seen Persephone from the shadows, her light a beacon in his darkness, her laughter a song that pierced the silence of his realm. Her joy was a stark contrast to his solitude, and in that contrast, a desire was born, a desire to bring her light into his world, to make her his queen. Even if it meant stealing her from the sun. One fateful day, Hades could no longer resist the pull of his longing. He emerged from the underworld in a chariot of black horses, their hooves thundering like a storm, his presence a darkness that shook the earth. Persephone turned, her flower crown slipping from her hands, as the ground split open beneath her, a chasm of shadow swallowing the light. Her scream echoed through the meadow, a cry that reached the heavens, but it was too late. Hades took her into his realm, the earth closing behind them like a tomb. The flowers in the meadow wilted, their colors fading to gray, a silent testament to the loss of spring. Demeter felt her daughter's absence like a dagger through her heart, her cries shaking the earth as she searched the meadows. Her golden hair fell in disarray, her radiant robe stained with mud, her grief turning the world to winter. The harvest withered under her sorrow, the fields turning barren, while mortals shivered in the cold as famine spread. Demeter pleaded with the gods, her voice a wail that echoed through Olympus, but none knew where Persephone had gone. In the underworld, Persephone stood in a cavern of glowing crystals, her heart pounding with fear, the air heavy with the scent of ash. Hades offered her a throne beside his voice soft but unyielding, "You will be my queen." But Persephone's heart was a storm of anger and longing, her light dimmed by the shadows of her new home. Her thoughts filled with the sun she might never see again. The underworld was a realm of eternal night, its rivers of fire casting an eerie glow, its shades whispering of lost lives as they drifted through the gloom. Persephone sat on a throne of obsidian, her heart heavy with resentment, her eyes searching for a glimpse of the sky she had lost. The cavern walls shimmered with crystals, their light cold and unyielding, a stark contrast to the warm sun she once knew. She thought of her mother, of the flowers that no longer bloomed, of the mortals who must be suffering in her absence. Hades watched her from his throne, his crown of shadows dim, his voice hesitant. "I wanted a companion, not a prisoner." He showed her the underworld's hidden beauty, fields of asphodel where the dead found peace, glowing crystals that held the memories of the living, and the river Styx, its shimmering waters a boundary between worlds. But Persephone turned away, her longing for the sun a wound that would not heal, her silence a wall between them. Days turned to weeks, and Hades began to soften, his loneliness a mirror to Persephone's own. He spoke to her of the underworld's purpose, of the balance it brought to the cosmos, of the souls who found rest under his care. He told her of his brothers, Zeus and Poseidon, who had divided the world between them, leaving him the realm of the dead. A realm he had never chosen, but one he had come to accept. Hades brought her gifts, black roses that bloomed in the dark, their petals soft as velvet, a crown of onyx to match her throne, and a garden of underworld flowers that glowed like stars, their light a faint echo of the sun. Persephone touched the flowers, her fingers trembling, her heart stirring with a warmth she did not expect. She began to see Hades not as a captor, but as a god who knew the pain of isolation, his vulnerability a quiet revelation that softened the edges of her anger. As time passed, Persephone found herself walking the underworld's paths, her steps hesitant at first, then more certain. She spoke with the shades, hearing their stories of love and loss, their voices a reminder of the life she had left behind. She began to understand the underworld's role, its necessity in the cycle of existence, and in that understanding, she found a purpose. Hades watched her, his heart lighter with each step she took, his realm no longer a prison, but a home they might share. He taught her the laws of the underworld, the judgments of the dead, and Persephone listened, her mind sharp, her spirit growing stronger in the darkness. But above, Demeter's grief turned the earth to ice, the mortals' cries of famine reaching the heavens, their prayers a desperate plea for spring's return. Zeus, a towering god in a white robe with a lightning bolt, could no longer ignore the chaos in the mortal world. He summoned Hades to Olympus, his voice a thunderclap that shook the golden halls. "Return, Persephone, or the world will perish." Hades bowed, his heart torn between his love for Persephone and the balance of the cosmos. He led Persephone to the edge of the underworld, her presence now a blend of light and shadow, her resolve a quiet strength. Before she left, Hades offered her a pomegranate, its seeds glowing like rubies, his voice a whisper. "Eat, and you may return to me." Persephone looked into his eyes, seeing the loneliness she had come to understand, the love she had begun to feel. Her heart a battle of worlds, she ate 6 seeds, her choice a bridge between realms, a promise to return to the god who had begun to win her heart. Persephone returned to the world above, the sun's warmth a shock after the underworld's chill, her mother's embrace a comfort she had longed for. Demeter wept with joy, her tears falling like rain, her harvest blooming once more as the earth came alive with spring. The mortals rejoiced, their fields green again, their altars filled with offerings of gratitude. Persephone danced in the meadows, her laughter a melody that brought flowers to bloom, her mother at her side, their bond as strong as ever. But Persephone's heart was no longer whole in the light, her thoughts drifting to the underworld, to the god who had shown her a different kind of beauty, a different kind of strength. She missed the glowing flowers, the quiet of the asphodel fields, the weight of the onyx crown that had become a part of her. For 6 months, Persephone lived with Demeter, her presence a gift to the mortal world, her laughter a promise of renewal. But as the seasons turned, a longing grew within her, a pull toward the darkness she had come to know. For the other 6 months, she returned to Hades, her role as queen a mantle she now wore with pride, her steps sure as she descended into the underworld. Hades waited for her at the gates, his presence brightening at her return, his heart no longer a void but a space filled with her light. Persephone took her throne beside him, her hand in his, her smile a light that warmed even the darkest caverns, her voice a melody that the shades listened to in awe. Together, they ruled the underworld, their love a balance of light and shadow, life and death. Hades, once a lonely god, found joy in Persephone's laughter, his heart softened by her presence, his realm no longer a place of sorrow but one of purpose. Persephone, once a captive, found power in her role, her strength fierce as she judged the shades, her decisions fair and wise, her heart whole in the love she had chosen. She brought touches of spring to the underworld, planting flowers that glowed in the dark, their petals a reminder of the world above, a symbol of the balance she embodied. Hades watched her with pride, his crown of shadows no longer a burden but a shared responsibility, their partnership a testament to the love they had built. Their love became a myth of balance, a tale of two worlds united by a goddess who belonged to both. Persephone walked between spring and shadow, her dual nature a testament to her strength, her ability to find beauty in both light and dark. What does their bond teach us about the nature of love, about the balance between freedom and duty? Was Persephone a victim, or a queen who chose her fate? And what does Hades' journey tell us about the redemptive power of love? Hades and Persephone's love is a timeless myth of the underworld. On Stories of Myth, we bring these untold tales to life. What did you think? Did their love move you? Drop your thoughts below, and subscribe for more epic stories. Until then, keep chasing the myths that whisper through time.